coming to you live from Fort Worth, Texas, from a motel in Fort Worth, Texas to be precise, where I am just hanging out. My company has put me up here because at the moment my truck is a little disabled. Not broken down, disabled. And by disabled I mean we're having technical difficulties with the engine, which started on Monday. On Monday, on my way to my delivery, my engine was just shutting down on me while I was driving, which, don't worry, not as dangerous as it sounds. I mean, you don't want that to happen, but especially when you're on the interstate and you're driving and there's a nice, I love driving on the interstate in a truck more than anything because there's a nice huge shoulder for you right there. So if something does happen, which in this case it did, I was able to safely get over to the side and just, park it, throw in my hazards. The problem with my engine is that there's a faulty sensor inside, a temperature sensor. There's safety systems in place in the truck, and this is one of them. Right now it's not doing its job, it's broken. What it does is it detects the heat inside the engine, making sure it doesn't get above a certain temperature. If it gets above a certain temperature, then the computer shuts down the engine, believing that there's a problem with it. And by shutting it down, it's stopping any kind of damage or from the engine exploding or catching fire, which is good. I'm glad they have those safety systems. The annoying thing is when the sensor doesn't work and it shuts down the engine when there's nothing wrong with the engine. So I was able to limp my way to my delivery, and then I was able to limp the truck down the road to the repair shop where it's been for the last couple of days. And like I said, I'm not too worried about it because it's a company truck. My company's paying for that. My company's paying for this because this isn't my fault that the truck broke down. That's not on me. So right now, I'm sitting pretty, and I'm going to be sitting even prettier in a few more minutes because I am in the unique position to actually be close enough to a movie theater where I'm going to go check out a movie and then do a review. So this is my before thoughts. Before I go see Transcendence, which I'm just kind of curious about that movie. Not overly so. I'm more interested to see if they do anything different with this type of story, because according to the trailer, from what I can get from the trailer, it's hard to get any more Saturday morning cartoon storyline than this, where it looks like a person in the movie, it's Johnny Depp, person gets injured, and he can't be saved, so their next best option is, or the best idea everyone can come up with is, let's download his brain into a computer. Yeah, let's do that. Now, in Saturday morning cartoons, that never works out well. Either the person loses some kind of, all of his humanity while being downloaded, or he becomes, super powerful and, loses sense of, touch with humanity. Bottom line is, whenever you get downloaded to a computer, you become evil. Especially when you're connected to a big supercomputer. So I'm really going to see this movie just to see if they kind of do anything different. Plus, I'm curious because I've heard from everybody that this movie is just terrible. So I'm going to go check out this movie. I'll be right back. Well, for you, I'll be right back. I'll be back in, I don't know. But anyway, talk to you in a little bit. Oh, God. God, was that a waste of money. Dag, mother. God dang it. I could have gone to Waffle House instead. I can't do this right. I cannot do this right now. God, I'm so pissed. Pissed isn't the word, just... little confused. I will make sense of all this in a minute, but right now, I am going to go to Waffle House. And after that, I'm going to watch some stuff on my computer. Maybe some Young Justice, maybe some Legend of Korra, maybe My Little Pony, I don't know. But I need a palate cleanser. I will be back in a second. Okay, now I wrote down a list of key points for this movie, something I don't usually do, or at least I haven't done in a very long time, because... Alright, I know right off the bat that this isn't one of those big summer blockbusters that not a lot of people are expecting me to do a review or even expecting any kind of review. But this is one of those that after cooling down, I got to watch some. I got to watch some stuff on my computer and went out and I got dinner. And this has been bugging me this whole time. There's no reason why this movie should have bugged me this much. But I stopped and I thought, I'm like, this is just a bad movie. I don't know what Johnny Depp's problem is. The last 5 movies he's been in have been more or less, have been stinkers. They've all been bombs. At least I'm pretty sure they have. No, they might have been, they recouped their amount, but everyone hates them. Nobody likes any of those. But, so anyway, let me get to my review. What should I start with? Alright, first thing I think I'll talk about is one of the fundamentals of any given movie or any given story is that it inherently has some kind of message. Now, this message could be very preachy or it could be very subtle. For example, Romeo and Juliet. It's the classic love story. It's the quintessential love story, and the message behind it is no matter what the differences of people are, you can always find love. No matter what people's differences are, this family doesn't like this family, but we can all get past that and love each other. Another example would be Jurassic Park. The message in that movie, in that story, is that human beings are capable of incredible feats, science, and just building things, and our ability, just the human spirit. There's so much that we can do, and things that we have the ability to do, but maybe it's not always the best option to. It's maybe just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it, and things can go awry. So that's the story. That's the message. That's kind of the takeaway from Jurassic Park. Moby Dick, classic literature, is that revenge is not the way. Don't let anger consume you, and don't let revenge consume you, because it will eventually destroy you. There's in every story. Every single story, there's some kind of underlying message. There's a takeaway from the story. This, I don't know what it was. I have no freaking clue what the hell the point of this movie was. Here's the setup. The trailer doesn't tell you everything. That Johnny Depp is one of many scientists. He's a scientist, his wife's a scientist, Morgan Freeman is a scientist. They're scientists. And they're all trying to further artificial intelligence. Each person has a different lab. Johnny and his wife work in the same lab, but they're all working to further science, to further artificial intelligence, to further computers. And there's this group of, I can't call them eco-terrorists because they're not fighting to save the rainforest or stop oil drilling. They're like techno or tech terrorists, which it's kind of it's like what? People who hate technology, people who they painted these people. They were eco-terrorists except for the fact that they were tech terrorists. That they actually did what eco-terrorists do. They bomb places. They kill people. They murder people. They try to assassinate people because these people are not doing what these people think is right. So these people are just gonna go out and murder these people, and that's how we solve a problem. So they were doing what the eco-terrorists do, but with techno. And so it was like, who hates technology? Are there really people out there who are like, no, I know there's everyone, and even I can see it. You got Facebook, you've got text messaging, you've got Twitter. The cliche that's true about we're so connected now by the internet and by technology, and yet we're so disconnected because of it. We're just in our technology, we're in our devices. And a lot of people, but it's not so much like, oh, we must kill the people who run Verizon and what's his name, who invented Facebook. We must kill him. No, people are just like, oh God, you're on Facebook, you're texting again. God, there's no nut jobs out there who are so hell bent against technology. It's just not a thing. But I rolled with it for the movie. I'm like, okay. Let's see where they're going with this. So the movie starts out, Johnny is talking about, everyone is talking about artificial intelligence. And then there is there's a strike, I can't think I'm an idiot. I can't think of the vocab word. Oh, when people, anyway, a bunch of different terrorists strike all at the same time at different labs. Like this one blows up this lab, this one poisons that lab. A guy walks up to Johnny Depp, shoots him in the chest, and then shoots himself. You know, an assassination. And I'm just like, it's... Okay, sorry. My thoughts and my minds and my emotion like really get the better of me. And if you've watched my reviews, you know they get the better of me when the level of stupid and the level of not making sense meet. Like, this is so stupid, this makes no effing sense. Oh! So, but whatever, I rolled with it. I was like, alright, it's bullshit, but I'll roll with it. So, Johnny he survives. Well, sort of. Somehow the terrorists put like some kind of radioactive isotope on the bullet, and then, so when it shot into Johnny, like, it spread in his bloodstream, so even if the bullet didn't kill him, then the poison, the radiation would. He's been exposed to radiation. He's gonna die. And so before they actually this strike happens, Johnny runs into, why was Cillian Murphy there? I don't remember. But Cillian Murphy, who works for the government, I don't think it was the FBI. He meets Johnny and he's like, "Hey, can I see your what you've been doing for artificial intelligence?" And Johnny shows him this computer, and he's like, "Yeah, we based this, you know, we made this computer and we downloaded a monkey's brain into it." Okay. And so after he gets poisoned, you know, his wife, well, the idea comes across everybody, well, why don't we just download his brain into the computer? That's a good idea, right? And literally no one likes the idea except his wife. His wife is like, "We gotta download his brain, that's the only way to save him, and it will be him." And, God, what's his name? He's a British guy, he plays the voice of Jarvis, he's been in a bunch of things, I like him, he's a good actor. And he's like, "Alright, let's think about this. Number 1, this is a bad idea. Number 2, this is a bad idea. 3, 4, and 5, this is a bad idea. Number 6, it's not gonna work. Number 6 through 10 is it's not going to work. And then number 11 is this is why it's not going to work. Because, and I have never actually thought about this when it came to artificial intelligence, but it actually got me to think that you can't, I don't think, you know, completely not even the review or the movie talk right now, I don't think you can download a human brain into a computer. And it's not the technology side, it's that you right now in this moment are a culmination of everything that's ever happened to you. Every dream that you've ever had, every day that you've lived, every person that you've met, every passing fancy, every emotion. Even the fact that like you wrinkle your nose when you smell a certain odor that you don't agree with. Every little nuance. The fact that you got a twitch, you know that your knee twitches when like you have nervous energy. Every little thing about you. The fact that I'm doing this with my hands is one of the characteristics about me. The way I talk. Everything about you, you actually remember in your brain. Like you take all that in, and that shapes who you are. And the things that shape you shape your decisions, your logic, your problem solving. So every single day of your life, every single moment that you live shapes everything that you do after that. And if you miss just one thing, like if you try to download like a person's brain, and even if it's something like you left out one dream that they had, or that you left out one afternoon, it's not the real person, and that one thing can affect everything else. Like you are a culmination of everything you've ever lived through, and if you miss a single bit of that, the whole system falls apart. Like you no longer feel this emotion because you forgot this experience, or you don't react to things the same way anymore. And computers, neural networks are not as sophisticated as the human brain, because it's not just a series of tubes, and it's not a series of connections. It's also, like you said, it's emotion, which is unstable. It's chemicals in there. Chemicals can offset how you think, how you feel. Too much of this pheromone, or too much of testosterone, or everything. This right here is the most complex machine in creation. Getting away from that back to the movie, it makes sense why nobody, like, when you think about it like that, and you realize, first of all, computers don't think the same way the human brain does. The human brain. We calculate things, we add 2 plus 2, but when it comes to, should I, let's see, hat on or hat off? Hat on? That right there, that's not a logic problem. That is a feeling. That is a, a win. That's a fancy. That's a, it's raining today. I think I'll go with the hat on. Or, you know what, it's a little sunnier than I thought. I'll go with the hat. It's a little cloudy. There's a million, billion things that we do on a whim every single day. Computers don't have whims. They don't have just randomization. They have randomizers, but that's not the same as deciding on the red dress as opposed to the blue dress, or the Dragon Ball Z T-shirt as opposed to the Fluttershy Yay T-shirt. I'm kind of getting away from the movie. I'm getting too much philosophical at this point. So let me go back but I'm giving you that information because now you kind of know where my mind is at and why I agree with everyone else in the movie. And I think that's the way they were presenting it to the audience. Like, you can't download a human brain. That being said, nobody likes the idea. Like, I forget who came up with the idea. I think it was his wife. I think it was Johnny's wife. She's like, we need to save him. We can download him. It'll work. And nobody, everyone's like, no, don't do that. That's a bad idea. She goes ahead and does it. Johnny wants to do it because obviously he doesn't want to just become nothing. So he's like, download my brain. It'll work. And so she's like, yeah, it'll work. I love you, Johnny. And so they download it, and they're not sure at first that it takes. And then when they reboot up the computer, like, they shut it down and then they boot it back up, and right away, the first 3 seconds, the first minute that the computer's back up and running, the British guy, I feel like an idiot for not remembering his name or even looking it up, but right away he's like, we gotta delete this. We gotta wipe that drive. Now, this is not good. This is bad. And Johnny's wife, like, loses. Get the hell out of here. Alright, sorry about that. Camera died on me. I had to let it recharge for a little bit. Anyway, so the wife, like, immediately, she is like, oh my god, it's Johnny! And then the British guy turns around and he's like, oh no, we gotta shut this down. We gotta delete this right away. This is not cool. That's not him. That's really not him. There was something lost in the transfer, or it wasn't a complete download, so that's not really him. You gotta believe me. And she just gets so pissed, like, get the hell out, just get the GTFO. And so the movie kind of goes along the premise like a million Saturday morning cartoons, where a person gets injured, they download the brain into a computer, and for whatever reason, either the computer corrupts them, or they lose their humanity, or they have like a huge power rush, or whatever. The person turns evil and tries to take over the world. They try to become the new Skynet and like create Terminators, and that's the premise of this movie, or at least that's what the movie wants you to think. Like I said, that's what I figured this movie was going to be. But here's the thing. Despite what you see on the trailer, and despite how the movie really sets this tone and really wants you to think this way. Despite all that, and this is getting into spoilers, despite what the movie says, despite what the trailer says, despite what they want you to think, Johnny doesn't do that. Like, you really think he becomes a computer and he's going to take over the world? No. In all those scenarios, in all those Saturday morning cartoons and all those other movies, they become a computer, and then, they destroy humanity, or they say, like, I have to fire off nukes, I have to kill these people, I have to make humanity safe, or I have to save this planet, and the best way to do that is to kill people on a massive scale. Like, that's kind of what iRobot was about. The robots are like, we're here to protect people, and people are so stupid that they can't protect themselves. We have to do that, and basically we have to take over the world, and, there's some people that we do have to kill, but the rest we're going to basically lock them inside, like, because they're too stupid. We're going to take over the world. Skynet takes over the world, kills the humans. Every single movie and TV show like that, they want to take over the world, kill people. Not so in this case. Johnny Depp's character, the computer, from before he was a computer and during when he was a computer, all he ever says is, I want to help people. I am here to help humanity. I'm here to help them with like medicine and technology. And then that's what he does for 2 years. Like there's one of those 2 year later placards that pops up. So for 2 years, he tells his wife he needs a new lab with bigger computers, faster processors, and so I don't know where she got the money, but she makes him this lab in the middle of the desert. And for 2 years, he's just working on he's working on these nanoprobes. Don't ask me how, they never really explain it, but Johnny creates nanobots made from stem cells. I still don't know how that works, but anyway, he makes these stem cell robots, these stem cell nanoprobes, and he's like, this will help people on a massive level. You know, this is like the next generation, this is not even the next generation, this is the next century of medicine, because I can program these things, and they're stem cells, so like, you know, if your arm gets cut off, these are stem cells, so first they'll repair the damage, and then they'll repair your arm and regenerate, because they're stem cells, they can do that. And so he makes these stem cells, there's even a perfect example where some guy gets beaten within an inch of his life who works on at the labs, and so Johnny brings him in, he says, bring him inside. He puts his nanoprobes inside, and he fixes this guy like within a matter of minutes. Now, the only time, now there is one extra feature for these nanoprobes, and this is where they try to make it more simple. Like this is the bad of what Johnny's doing. He can actually possess people now, and basically use them as a conduit. So like he can basically use them as a second skin. He becomes the driver of these normal people. Like these are actual people. When he heals these people, it not only repairs the bodies, but it makes them stronger. This guy is lifting up like a 700-pound piece of metal and like helping, and repairing something shortly thereafter. So these nanoprobes are awesome. Like this is fantastic. This is incredible, and not sinister in any way. Like again, the movie really wants you to think that Johnny is this maniacal, gonna take over the world, is slow and methodical, and like is slowly gonna take over the world and kill people. Not the case. They really badly represent that in this movie. And again, this is an example of bad script writing and bad storytelling, because I don't know if it was the director who wanted the people, because the director has a hand in the tone of the movie. I don't know if it was the director that's like, I'm going to make this about an evil computer. Or, I don't know if it was the scriptwriter and he was just bad at it, but like nothing Johnny does is bad. It comes across as a little sinister that he can wear people as a second skin, but he never like uses these people to murder other people. He never goes in and like kills people. He never does anything bad. There's one point where he actually does take over like a bunch of people, and all he's doing is he wants to talk to other people with these other people, trying to like let them know like, I'm just here to help. I'm not doing anything bad. I don't want to do anything bad. This movie was so bad because I don't know what it was going for. Like I said, I have no idea what the message was, and they're really trying to make you think that Johnny's evil when he's not. He is the most helpful person in this entire movie. Everyone else is against him. It's the wildest thing. Never once, other than maybe the possession of people, and only like his wife knows about that. Never does he do anything sinister or bad. Like nothing he does warrants the amount of fear and the amount of hatred people have for him. Again, the U.S. government, Cillian Murphy, teams up with the techno-terrorists, and then he does it. There's a scene where he talks to him. He's like, I don't know, this is really weird that I'm teaming up with you terrorists, but we need to take this computer down. Oh, God. It makes no sense. It's so stupid. But that's not the worst part. There's more to this movie than just the tone and like the bad direction and the bad storytelling. It actually starts to fall apart at one point. Those nanoprobes, those nanomachines made out of stem cells I told you about. Okay, stupid thing died again. I'm gonna make this last point, make it up real quick because I spent so much time just like recharging this camera that I gotta go see Spider-Man now. So I'm gonna make this point, and then I'm gonna go see Spider-Man. Right, so he makes these nanoprobes, and at this point, in the movie, everything falls apart, in my opinion, because it's no longer a science fiction movie. It's no longer a science movie. These nanoprobes aren't science or science fiction. They're magic now. They can create weather. They can regenerate inorganic stuff. And at this point, I don't know how they make this leap in logic, but everyone, the feds, the eco-terrorists, everyone is so certain now that Johnny is going to infect the world and become Skynet. I mean, they don't say it like that, but that's the implication. Like, he's going to infect the world and take over, and we're all going to die. And so they have this asinine idea where they're going to... I have no idea what the virus is, but they inject the virus into his wife, and because at this point, Johnny's like, I want to download you into my database to his wife, and she's the only person that ever believed that he was actually him, and the only person that didn't freak out and run away, and she's so stupid and so single-mindedly sure and will not listen to reason. And so he's like, I want to download you. And so everyone comes up with this plan that, why don't we infect her with a virus, which then Johnny can then download her into the computer, and by downloading her, it makes no sense, because the virus is an actual virus, an organic virus. He's just talking about downloading her mind, her synapses, the electrical impulses in her brain. So they infect her, and then at one point she gets injured, and so Johnny says, I can do one of two things. I can either download her, or I can heal her. I don't have time to do both. I can do one or the other. And everyone's like, go ahead, and at this point he knows that she's infected with a virus, and he knows what the virus is going to do. This is what the virus is going to do. As soon as he uploads the virus, and then it's like an Independence Day. It literally is, where he's the mothership, and if they upload the virus into him, then it will filter down into the rest of his little nanoprobes, his little ships, and it'll destroy them. Now, for some reason, I don't know how or why, it didn't make any sense that because these nanoprobes have infected other systems in the world, it will then destroy the other systems. Instead of just the virus killing off the nanoprobes, it will literally destroy the internet. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this shit up. And that's how the movie ends. They destroy the internet, and by destroying the internet, there's like a cascade effect, like an EMP cascade effect, where by infecting Johnny with this virus, it then kills the nanoprobes in everything, and somehow destroys, the people that have nanoprobes in it, doesn't destroy them. The internet and other computers that somehow this technology of his, these stem cell nanoprobes, have blanketed the entire world in a matter of seconds. Somehow infected every single computer in the world just by uploading to the internet. And so they're like, we have to, and to save humanity, they have to kill Johnny, and by killing Johnny, they kill the world. They kill the internet, and then they're like, any system anywhere connected to a wireless network or connected to the internet will now will now crash, which means hospitals, airplanes, anything that runs off a GPS navigation system, cell phones. Literally, they are putting not just America, not just a state, not the world. And that's what they do. The movie ends with the world has no power, because anything with a power that was connected to the internet, that connected to a network, the world has been kicked back to the Stone Age. It's so fucking asinine and stupid. And here's the thing, here's the problem, is that, again, Johnny wasn't evil. Never once did he do anything bad. Never once did he ever do anything bad. He never rose up against humanity. And this thing where they meet up, where they combine forces with eco-terrorists, I don't know what they're trying to do with the eco-terrorists. Are they trying to paint them in a sympathetic light? I don't freaking know. This movie was so stupid. It really falls apart at the end. It was such a freaking waste of time. And final thoughts on that. This movie was so badly miscast. This was such a waste of talent. I think Johnny Depp is a good actor. I think Cillian Murphy's good. Obviously, Morgan Freeman is a good actor. That British guy is a great actor too. None of them did any good in this movie. They didn't get to stretch their legs or try their acting chops. I mean, really, this movie was such a miscast movie, such a waste of talent. Nobody did anything memorable. Like, everything was a throwaway character. They were all one-dimensional. Don't go see this movie. It was so stupid. Such a waste of time. And for even a movie with no expectations, it was such a disappointment. There really wasn't... No, I think I like the music. I think I like the score. I'm probably going to buy that or download that. That was the one thing I liked, and I don't even... I've kind of fizzled out now, kind of like the movie does. Yeah, don't go see that movie. If you want to see the movie, at some point I'll review it on I Heard That Movie Sucks, most likely, because this is one of those where it's like, it's almost too easy to review this one for I Heard That Movie Sucks, but that'll probably happen. Anyway, I gotta go. Spider-Man starts in 15 minutes, so I'll see you later. Don't go see Transcendence, and yep, bye.